Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Lynn Carey, and I'm with you today to talk about healing. I want to reinforce how powerful your body is, and I want to just go over my journey a little bit about how I came to my thoughts, I've discovered truth. As a teenager, I had surgery for my spine that I consider unnecessary today, and I actually think it's very barbaric that they still perform this surgery. And we, as a society, accept it. So, right there from the get go, my sickness was caused by an unnecessary surgery that is accepted as truth. So, that was my foundation. And I was never afraid of being sick. I can't remember ever being like, I watched my father die of cancer, a really horrific way. They really, he was already beat up and broken, and then the medical treatments just dissolved him into nothing. I watched that at 12 years old. And I really wanted to go with him. I thought my father's in heaven. I was raised Catholic. So Catholic talks about this utopia of heaven, that you have to become worthy to go to heaven. And I was just bummed my father left me in hell. I knew I was in hell on earth. That's what it felt like to me. There was not one thing that I wanted to stay for. But I guess I was too guilty to physically kill myself because my mother has had guilt over me my whole life. That's what she used all the time. And so I don't know. Maybe I just kept thinking once I got out of school, there has to be hope. Because I was so brainwashed that school is the way to be successful in life. And I'm a hard worker. Like, even when I'm sick, I keep going. Like, I don't even rest. Like, I know I had to learn to let myself rest, but I never let the ball drop for what I'm working on. I can work through physical stuff, illness, when I feel off. I can still work on things that are going to achieve the vision I want for my life. I never let that drop. So many people use that as an excuse. So I had this unnecessary surgery. I went for 5 years that I was sick all the time, that I never was like that before. In pain, different things going on. And every time I would go to a doctor, strep throat was a big one for me. I always had strep throat. And that's interesting because the throat represents you're expressing yourself. And I knew I was never heard. My mother never listened to me. My family never listened to me. Because I questioned everything we did. And I just was basically got the gist that I'm crazy, just shut up and do it. And, but I always had the strep throat, antibiotics for that. Pain. The pain would be so horrendous that I couldn't walk, sit, lay. I'd fall in the shower. Muscle relaxers didn't do it. Physical therapy didn't do it. They never ever addressed that my surgery caused it. Not one doctor. And I would say to the doctor, when I'm done this medication or I'm done this therapy plan, I still am sick or in pain. Why do I keep getting sick? And I remember a doctor saying to me, let me just write you a stronger prescription. And I knew, I'm like, they don't know. Because I questioned so many times over those 5 years and they never had an answer for me. And I knew, I'm like, these people have no clue what they're doing. They don't know. They don't have answers. And God divinely led me to chiropractic school. Didn't even get adjusted. I just went on the philosophy that the first time I heard that the power made the body heals the body, I was like, oh, this is an answer after all these years of struggle. And I think people just thought I was a hypochondriac because they didn't know what to do for me. And when I learned about the power of our innate intelligence, if you just think about how you get up every day, isn't it a miracle? How you go to sleep at night and get up every day? How your heart beats every day. Are you consciously controlling it? How your hair grows every day? That you have to shave. How does that happen? That you have to cut your nails are growing. You skin your knee, it scabs up and new skin forms. Who does that? Why do we lose sight of that? We lose sight of it because they've programmed us to go to somebody else to tell us what's wrong, to label our condition and drug us. When you see through the farce of that, you'll see there's no disease. It's dis-ease in your body. Why is it caused? Because you're out of alignment with your source, with yourself. So the first few years in practice, once I understood the power that made the body heals the body is amazing. There's so many answers there. when you keep seeing the limitations of the medical world, then I studied what the medical world studies, and all they know how to do is label your symptoms, label it. They pick a label. Don't you notice there's a new disease every few years? And it's the fad. Lyme, chronic fatigue syndrome, cancer. There's a million cancers, and there's a million organizations to cure cancer. Big business. Don't ever give to those organizations, ever. Oh my God, there's so many. Doesn't make sense. We are one of the sickest countries in the United States. Do you know that? With all the medical stuff, because the third leading cause of death is medical intervention. And our lifestyle, right? I think it's heart disease and cancer is the other, because it's our lifestyle. We live on such toxic food, toxic products, toxic mindset, toxic television. It's up to us to take control of that and clean it up and get control of our thoughts and how we think and what we focus on. Our thoughts are as real. I was just reading this in a Seth book, and I've read this 5 years ago, and I'm rereading it because it's so powerful. I mean, it's a process, right? To keep evolving yourself. Thoughts are the same as a virus in your body. Thoughts are as effective as a virus in your body. We have thousands of them, millions of them in our body, and they affect us. And they keep the natural balance of health. And think about all the thoughts you think. Are you thinking about health, or are you thinking about disease? So I got to the point where the medical never helped me. And then I saw what they knew, and I knew I didn't want their solution. So when you get to that kind of powerful place, you own your health. Now, I realized when I got into practice, it confirmed to me, I got really into the energy work. Energy overtook me. Our body is so energetic. My hands would get so hot working on people. I got lighter and lighter with my touch. When you understand how energy flows. So I started thinking, I'm like, okay, there is no disease except because we believe in it. There's disease. I knew that for a fact. Did I announce it to everybody? No, because I knew people would argue. People would get mad. People would deny it. People argue for their disease. Now you would think we'd be like, oh, that's so amazing. Now we can free ourselves. But no, people argue for the disease because the disease serves a purpose in their life. Whether it's you become aware and awake for the first time and you learn to heal yourself. It's amazing. Or it covers up stuff you're not dealing with in your life. How many times were you told you were unworthy? How many times do you have to get up to a job that you hate every day and you think there's no way out? How many times that you can't pay your bills at the end of the month? Or how many times you say, I can't afford something, and you just disempower yourself? Because that's a whole nother topic, right? None of us have economic skills. We don't know how to build assets or build wealth. That comes out as disease. Being around toxic people, even if it's your family members, they drain you. You will become sick. So, and our thoughts that we think, if you live in fear of disease, you're going to get it. I mean, there was a lot of times I knew if people were going to heal or not when I saw them in my office, because I could tell where their mindset was and how I was able to talk to them and how I was able to break through. People are under a hypnosis. So when this pandemic happened, I wouldn't even have known about it because I don't follow that stuff. I was hearing that there was all these other ones over these last 20 years, these last few years, different ones. I never heard about it. I would have never known about this one either if they didn't lock me up and then I couldn't go into a store anymore without a mask. Never. I would have never followed any of it. It's ludicrous. Stop following all of that stuff. Learn to get in tune with your energy. Learn to get in tune with your thoughts. There are so many good books. Louise Hay, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton, Seth, and by Jane Roberts and Robert Butts, Abraham Hicks, Florence Scovel Shinn, Neville Goddard. There are so many books to empower you on healing, or listen to their audios. Leaders or readers, if you want to own your life, start reading, because when you read, I hated reading before it started giving me answers. I didn't read the stuff they gave me in school. I got by on Cliff Notes and a prayer, because how ridiculous. We waste so much time in school learning nothing that is important in life. When you find answers in books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, talking about creating assets and becoming wealthy versus staying in the poor and middle class, amazing. And then there's so much more to go on that. Creating your thoughts create your reality. And it's a practice. Become a master creator in your life and never live in the fear again. So I hope this empowers you to trust in your body heals itself and don't live in fear anymore. And obviously, it's a process. You can't go cold turkey. You can't go from A to Z. You might have to go to A to B to C, baby steps every day, but it's possible. That was my journey. I went baby steps to where I live now. I'm so free. I wish everybody had the viewpoint I had, because you would never hear of disease again. You wouldn't. That's how sure I am of it. So believe in yourself. Believe that you can create the best life ever here on this earth. That's what we're here for, to create heaven on earth, to create bliss on earth. And I hope you have an amazing day. Thanks for watching.